Tube presents Conversations with the Candidates and more.
Good evening, I'm Vic Faust, and this is Conversations with the Candidates and more. Over the next 30 minutes, you'll get a better understanding of who the St. Louis mayoral candidates are and some of what they plan on doing if they are elected. From crime to a city-county consolidation, we're going to take a look back at Mayor Krewson's time in office as well, and we're going to hear final pleas from the candidates before tomorrow's all-important primary election. Alderwoman Cara Spencer, Board of Alderman President Lewis Reed, Tishaura Jones, who is the treasurer for the St. Louis City, and business executive Andrew Jones are all on the primary ballot. Tomorrow's election is a new voter-backed approval voting. That means you can approve as many candidates as you want or just one. The top two will square off in an April runoff to replace the retiring Lyda Krewson. So right now, let's begin to meet the candidates, starting with Andrew Jones.
I feel it's an obligation.
St. Louis and Andrew Jones Jr. has been a successful executive vice president for business development at Southwest Electric. He earned his economics degree from Lincoln University and his MBA from Washington University.
What separates you from Jones, Spencer, and Reed?
I think what really separates me is the fact that I am a thinker. I solve problems. I've been doing this for decades and decades. Otherwise, my board of directors would dictate to my CEO to come and fire me if I wasn't doing a fantastic job. And if I wasn't doing a fantastic job with other peripheral things, serving on boards where people call to ask me to commit to helping them with their economic development, come up with strategies and tactics to bring in new businesses for their location. And that's something surely that the city of St. Louis needs.
Jones says there's no substitute for a quality education and that more resources must be given to the city's classrooms. He also stresses that the city's infrastructure should be a vital part of St. Louis's plan for growth moving forward.
Voters are deciding on who they're going to vote for. What should they be looking at, in your opinion?
Can the person that's running deliver? And that's an outstanding question. For over 70 years now, our current state of politicians have been leading a decimal reduction, noted decline for our city, the city that I love. I would love to be at home right now eating Ted Drew's, relaxing and not running. Believe me, I have other things I could be doing, but I'm so committed in helping the city that it forced me to be duty bound to get involved. So the person has to come with those skill sets.
Jones points to his success in business as another reason St. Louis voters should give him a shot to turn financial situations around.
How important is a relationship with St. Louis County and other counties in the region?
Certainly, I am an absolute proponent of pushing regionalism because St. Louis is the hub, but the other spoke cities and communities are absolutely incredibly important to the entire wheel. We have to have those coalitions and build those relationships.
Tasha Jones has been the St. Louis treasurer since 2012. She was born in St. Louis and earned degrees from Hampton University and a nursing degree from SLU College for Public Health with a Master of Health Administration. Jones was also a Missouri State Representative for 4 years.
What do you think separates you from Reed, Spencer, and Jones?
Yeah, so it's one thing to have a vision or a platform on how you're going to attack something, but it's something totally different to actually implement that and bring it to reality. And that's exactly what I've done in the treasurer's office for the last 8 years. I'm the only candidate in this race that has the experience of turning a platform into a reality, the management experience of managing a budget of millions and a staff of hundreds of people, and the relationships on the state and national level to put St. Louis back on the map.
Jones created a financial literacy program for citizens and another one that uses parking meter revenue to give public school kindergarten students a savings account to help towards college.
What do you think voters should be looking at?
I think they should be looking at someone who's ready to serve on day one. I've been fortunate to be endorsed by County Executive Sam Page and supported by County Prosecutor Wesley Bell. So I have regional relationships and I'm ready to get to work about solving the problems of our region because we cannot just depend on ourselves. Our destinies are linked.
Jones is also steadfast on making intentional investments in both North and South St. Louis areas. She says they are void of grocery stores, banks, and commercial institutions.
How important is the relationship with St. Louis County or the other areas?
I plan on reaching out to all of our county leadership, not just St. Louis County. We should have frequent meetings. We should have frequent dialogue and build relationships with each other so we can tackle the problems of our region, but also work together to grow our region.
St. Louis and Lewis Reed has been the president of the St. Louis Board of Aldermen since 2007. He got his degree at Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville. Reed later entered politics in 1999, becoming alderman of the 6th Ward.
What separates you from Spencer, Jones, and Jones?
I had a front row seat to the office of mayor, being the second highest ranked elected official in the city for longer than anybody in history. I am fully ready to hit the ground running day one. I understand the powers that are vested in that office by the charter of the city of St. Louis, and I know how to exercise those powers to the benefit of the residents of the city of St. Louis.
Reed highlights legislative victories such as addressing crime prevention and creating opportunities for at-risk youth. He says he has created a $1 million reoccurring youth crime prevention fund and has stood up for dreamers.
Lewis, what should voters pay attention to the most when it comes to this election?
Experience should play a major role in the selection of the next mayor. Also, a person that has temperament and has a track record of unifying people around very difficult ideas, because you cannot run this city by yourself. Our charter is structured in a way that is impossible.
The Board of Aldermen president says a strong city-county partnership is absolutely needed.
It's absolutely essential that we have a good relationship, not with just St. Louis City and St. Louis County, but our neighbors just to the east also. So we have to have regional cooperation to address big issues. That's how we're going to have bigger, more comprehensive, more direct lobbying teams when we're going after some federal thing.
Lewis, what should voters pay attention to the most when it comes to this election?
Someone that understands the functioning of city government. That is absolutely essential. I was very successful in my private career.
Cara Spencer represents the 20th Ward of St. Louis. She grew up in the city, earned a mathematics degree at Truman State, then worked as an analyst and mathematical modeler for over 12 years before jumping into politics 5 years ago.
What do you think separates you from Jones, and Reed in this election?
Look, again, I'm going to change course. The political solutions that we've seen under the leadership of President Reed have not been working. That's very clear. He's had the top 2 seat in city government for well over a decade. I mean, where have we gone with that? I bring a level of expertise in getting things through the Board of Aldermen, a success rate at getting things through that is unmatched. I've been able to really breathe life into some of the most challenged neighborhoods in the city of St. Louis.
Spencer says her 20th Ward was once stagnant for decades, but is now growing.
Alongside of that, I've taken on big citywide issues like reining in payday lending, bringing an air quality control monitoring program to the city of St. Louis, campaign finance limits, and I have successfully fought the privatization of our airport.
How important is a relationship with St. Louis City and St. Louis County?
It's imperative. We have to start working together as a region. And that's why when I was elected as an alderman, I applied for a position on the Municipal League of St. Louis. And I now serve representing the city and that organization of municipal government. I'm the first representative of the city in 100 years.
What do you think voters should pay attention to the most?
Voters should pay attention to our record, not just our promises, what we have actually been able to get done.
And our conversation with the candidates continues with a look at crime in our region. It is by far the biggest issue for the mayoral candidates, their reactions to that issue and the rising crime rate.